Greetings, and welcome to the Reparenting Daily podcast. In this podcast, we'll dive deep into reparenting, exploring all of the tools and resources that you'll need to help you along your journey. This podcast is divided into 3 sections. First is a daily reading. Second is a discussion on the reading, followed by journal prompts. And the last section is a peaceful meditation for closing. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening from whenever and wherever you're joining us. Thanks for being here for another day of reparenting. I much appreciate it. We all appreciate it, actually. We're on day 159. We are making our way to the halfway point of the year, 182. We're almost there, guys. So we're almost 6 months in. Just a reminder, please give me a follow, a like, and subscribe. A 5-star review on wherever you're following or listening or watching. All of your support really helps other people to find the podcast. And that is going to allow us to continue to grow our community. And so without further ado, we're going to continue today with the Kybalion. We're on law number... What is this? Law number 4. Oh, wait, sorry. We did 4 was the first one because we started out of order. We're now on law number 5. The principle of rhythm. Everything flows out and in. Everything has its tides. All things rise and fall. The pendulum swing manifests in everything. The measure of the swing to the right is the measure of the swing to the left. Rhythm compensates. The Kybalion. This principle embodies the truth that in everything there is manifested a measure of motion to and fro, a flow and an inflow, a swing backwards and forwards, a pendulum-like movement, a tide-like ebb and flow, a high tide and low tide, between the two poles which exist in accordance with the principle of polarity, described a moment ago. There is always an action and a reaction, an advance and a retreat, a rising and a sinking. This is in the affairs of the universe, suns, worlds, men, animals, mind, energy, and matter. This law is manifest in the creation and destruction of worlds, in the rise and fall of nations, in the life of all things, and finally in the mental states of man. It is with the latter that the Hermeticists find the understanding of the principle most important. The Hermeticists have grasped this principle, finding its universal application, and have also discovered certain means to overcome its effects in themselves by the use of the appropriate formulas and methods. They apply the mentalization of neutralization. They cannot annul the principle or cause it to cease operation. They have learned how to escape its effects upon themselves and to a certain degree, depending upon the mastery of the principle, they have learned how to use it instead of being used by it. And this and similar methods consists of the art of the Hermeticist. The master of Hermetics polarizes himself at the point at which he desires to rest, and then neutralizes the rhythmic swing of the pendulum, which would tend to carry him to the other pole. All individuals who have attained a degree of self-mastery do this to a certain degree, more or less consciously. But the master does this consciously, and by use of his will, and attains a degree of poise and mental firmness, almost impossible of beliefs on the part of the masses, who are swung backward and forward like a pendulum. This principle and that of polarity have been closely studied by the Hermeticists, and the methods of counteracting, neutralizing, and using them form an important part of Hermetic mental alchemy. Thank you, and that's the reading for today. Hey guys, welcome back. Another look at the Kybalion. One of the favorite texts that I've read in the past year, or I should say 3 years, or going on 4 years, honestly. This is 2024. Yeah, this is the 4th year. This started for me in 2019 was the start of the ACA journey, and 2017 was the start of therapy. So yeah, I've been going at this for quite some time now. And this has been one of the most powerful and influential books and texts that I've picked up, as I've mentioned before. The law of rhythm. Everything flows out and in. Everything has its tides. All things rise and fall. The pendulum swing manifests in everything. The measure of the swing to the right is the measure of the swing to the left. Rhythm compensates. The Kybalion. The principle of rhythm. It's kind of reflecting also the poles. Everything is going back and forth between the poles. A rise of, such as the rise of the sun, the setting of the sun, the rise of the moon, the setting of the moon, the rise of one nation and the decline of another. The rise of one relationship and the decline of another. The rise of positive emotions within your being and the fleeing and departing of those positive emotions, and so forth and so forth. So when we look at this rhythm, it's ringing a bell. It's making me feel like the word karma. It's making me remember the word karma. What goes in, what is coming back to you. That might take some time, because it's kind of a silly discussion, but I was having a debate with a friend the other day over karma. Do you think karma is real? Now, this person had made an example of, having harmed someone in their previous relationship, and their next relationship, they were harmed in the same way. This is that pendulum action, the swinging, the emotional exchange, the karmatic exchange, perhaps. And you might also doubt karma and say, well, if karma was real, then how do you explain white supremacy and the continued violence and gaslighting to say that white is superior, that white is the majority, and that everyone non-white is the minorities? Think about it. How insane is it to call non-white people minorities when actually white people are the minorities? This is societal gaslighting. And it's another example of rhythm, another way to understand rhythm, because if white supremacy can last for so long and continue to cause such devastation, then is there karma? Or perhaps this event is so large that the karmatic swing is going to take more time. In any case, we can start to see how this law is reflecting at the individual level, at the family level, as well as at the societal levels. And so today I'd like to encourage you to reflect on rhythm in your life. You can use this to reflect on your family dynamics over time, the patterns that you see in your family tree that have risen in your family from one to the next, characteristics, struggles, the internal negative beliefs, the generational trauma that has been passed down. This is the rhythm that we want to interrupt. And so as you reflect today, how can you capitalize on understanding the law of rhythm in your life? so that you can start breaking those old patterns and doing it from a place of grounding, self sufficiency, and confidence. That's the reading. As always, thanks for being here. Take care of yourself and do be well. And now, let us move on to the final section, the meditation. This is an unguided meditation. I will simply provide some music and you can take some time to relax. Please feel free to choose a location and a place where you feel safe and where you can be undisturbed for the next 10 minutes. You can choose to be sitting down, standing, as you like, wherever you are most comfortable. Thank you for being here and enjoy the meditation.